Hi, welcome back. This is Elizabeth Root, and today we are going to make my model's eyes pop. She's got a beautiful brown, but a little bit of hazel going on, so I decided to do a purple smoky eye. Really, really beautiful. I think you're all going to love it, and it's going to look good on green or blue eyes too. There's no rules with makeup. This is just that color that's going to make brown eyes pop. So let's get started. So this look is wearable for a lot of people. It's more of an evening look, but it really makes brown eyes pop. I'm misting her face with rose water. You can buy this or make it yourself with essential oils. And I'm going to be using the Shiseido moisturizer. It's oil-free and mattifying, and it's really nice and sheer. I love this one. So we're just going to buff that in nice and sheer all over the face, and not forgetting the neck as well. You can use a brush, you can use your hands. I like using a brush because you get the hairs nice and wet on your brush before going in with foundation. That makes you make sure you save some of your foundation and not use it too much, and the bristles won't absorb it. So next I'm going to be using this Smith's Minted Lip Balm, just so her lips can absorb this while I do her eye makeup. I'm going to do her eyes first because just with a smokier eye, you're definitely going to have fallout no matter how talented you are. So give yourself a break, do your eyes first. I prep the skin, then move to eyes, then clean up, and then move to foundation and concealer. So just a thin layer of this, and her lips will be nice and perfectly textured by the end of the makeup. So then I'm using Dangerous Couvée by MAC. It's a paint pot. So it's got a little shimmer to it. It's really, really beautiful, cool toned. You can use this with a lot of different looks though. It's more multifaceted than you would think. It's a more affordable version of like the Tom Ford one or the Chanel. So I'm just going to put this all over the lid. It does have shimmer to it, so I'm not going to bring it up to the brow bone because I want to keep that near the base of the eye. But just smooth that with a paddle brush all over the lid and make sure you don't have any harsh edges. With these cream products, you also want to make sure that they're not drying out quickly or quicker than they need to. So what I do is pop it into the lid as I'm using the product, and then when I finish I make sure I shut it tight every time. If you leave it open on your counter, they're going to dry out and you'll have wasted your money, so make sure you close those bad boys up. You can definitely use this color on its own too. You can see it's just quick and easy. You could swipe it on with your fingers, throw some mascara on, and move out the door as well. I don't want to do any like strong brow highlight in this look. I'm going to use a little bit of concealer just on her brow bone and then move into the shadows from there. So I'm using the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer in medium and just putting a sheer wash of that over her brow bone. I'm then going to set that with the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. I'm going to use this later for her T-zone area as well, but if I just use a little of that, I can set the concealer and make sure it's not going to move. So then I'm going to go in with a transition shade and a fluffy MAC 224 brush. This brush is my best friend. So we're going to use the Urban Decay Vice palette. It's got a lot of beautiful shades to it. I think I'm going to go for more of a burgundy tone. So first I'm going to use my transition colors on the left. These are matte shades you're going to want to use to create a little depth in shadow, and the purple is going to blend really easily into that. So just working it in from the outer part of the eye into the socket, back and forth until you get the desired effect. So you can shimmy your brush back and forth, you can do little circles, but these fluffier brushes really just do all the work for you. You don't have to be an eyeshadow master to be able to do this part. So now I'm going to take a smaller fluffy brush. It's got a little more dense bristles, and I'm going to push that into this burgundy shade. There's a little fallout with these shadows, but you just need to tap it off and then head in with your brush. I'm pushing it all along the lash line. Rather than having it just focused on the outer edge of the eye, I'm going to have dark faded up to light over the whole eye. So just pushing that back and forth. And it's okay if it's a little messy. You'll tidy it up by the end. You're going to go back in with your 224 just to buff out the corners. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with that burgundy shade. So you can keep layering until you have the depth that you want, and make sure it's even with the other side. So now I'm going in with a quad from Chanel. This has a nice range of plums and mauves, so I'm going to use these shimmery ones just in the center of the lid. It's just going to brighten up the look so it's not too dark. By putting it in the center too, you make your eyes look a bit bigger. You can use any brush for this. I'm using a MAC 217. It's a dense, fluffy brush. You can definitely use a flat brush as well, though. So just to add a little more darkness near the lash line, I'm using Kat Von D Tattoo Liner, and the shade is called Trooper. I love this one because it doesn't dry out easily like some other felt tip liners. It's got a really nice end that has a little flex, but you can also have nice control over it. I like holding these sideways and kind of dragging it along the lash line because you don't have to have as steady of a hand to get a nice line with this. Because her eyes are more hooded, I'm not going to do a wing or anything. I'm going to keep it nice and close to the lash line, maybe a little bit thicker on the outer. So you can just go back and forth until you have the line that you want and make sure that they match nicely. And also sometimes with hooded eyes, eyeliner can transfer up into the fold, and so I'm just going to have her look down until it dries. We can head into mascara from here while it's drying. This one's the Makeup Forever Smoky Extravagant mascara, and it's got a really nice like dome tapered brush. I like this one a lot as well. So you're getting it nice close to the roots, especially on a blonde. You want to have nice thick lashes and not see any of the blonde hairs maybe at the roots, so don't be scared and get it right up in there. So shimmy and then pull out, and that's how you're going to not have clumps. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit on the bottom as well. If you do have a little too much mascara, you can go back in with a Q-tip and kind of pull off any excess. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. This one is in the shade Medium. And the sponge applicator can be a little funny, so I put it on my wrist and then go in with a brush and just swipe that under the eyes. I do like this product for all over the face though. It's not too drying. It's great for covering acne as well as under eye. And not all concealers can do that, so this is a good buy. So I put it under the eyes, around the nose, maybe on any spots, center of the chin. A lot of girls get a little red, so anywhere you think you need it. I really like that it's not heavy. It just looks like she has nice skin. So with this look, I'm also going to be using the Becca primer. I think it's called Becca Ever Matte, and I'm going to use that around the T-zone just to help keep away shine during the evening. So you're going to do this next to the nose, on the nose, and then chin and center of the forehead. You don't need it all over the face, it's just where you have larger pores. So it's going to smooth everything out, it's going to keep shine down, and everything's going to blend nicely over it. It's best with fingers because you can pat and push it into the skin rather than having it sit on top. I found when I use this with brushes, it doesn't always stay nice for very long. So then over this, I'm going to go in with my foundation. I'm using the MAC Face and Body in shade C4. Her chest is a little tanner than her face, so I wanted to have it match. This one's nice and sheer. It's a dewy finish. Definitely buildable if you like more coverage, but we're just gonna do one nice sheer layer today. It is water and sweat resistant, so it lasts a long time. Great for a long event, a wedding, a long night out dancing. It's a really beautiful foundation. So yes, I know it looks a shade darker, but we're just trying to match her tan body. She's been keeping her face out of the sun like she should, so it's okay to buy your foundation a step or two darker. So I'm not going to add any more, I'm just going to buff what I have all over the face. I'm using a Real Techniques buffing brush. For this foundation, if you use a brush, you're going to get a more sheer application. If you use your hands, it warms up and you get a little more coverage out of it. So it's up to you however you'd like to wear it. And don't forget to bring it down the neck. Since we are doing a shade darker, we want to make sure her neck is nice and tan as well, and bring it towards the ear and hairline as well. And notice I haven't picked up any more product, I'm just blending around what I already have. For her brows, I'm going to be using a brow pencil from It Cosmetics. It's called Universal Taupe. The shade works for a lot of different hair colors. It's got a nice flat tip on it, so you can just drag it and create the strokes that way. It does have a spoolie as well. I already used that to brush them up. I'm also going to use my angle brush. It's a 263 from MAC, and just to comb the color through. It creates a more natural effect rather than seeing any of the brush strokes. It kind of softens the whole thing. So putting more pressure in the arch and keeping it nice and light towards the front of the brow. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to use the spoolie and just brush the whole thing into the direction I want, and her brows are done. So to make this a little more dramatic, I'm going to go in with a black pencil on the waterline. I'm going to rub that all the way across, and also make sure you shimmy it into the roots of the lashes. I'm going to take a Q-tip after this and kind of soften that line and bring it down to add to the smoky effect. So it's like smudging / cleanup all in one tool. Q-tips are great. So you're smoking out and then you're going back in and adding darkness into the lashes. To go even more dramatic, you could also tightline the top. So doing it on the inside waterline of the top. It's a little less comfortable, so I'm going to spare my model today, but it makes the lashes look even thicker, so it's a nice effect as well. So just keep working that liner and Q-tip until you get the effect that you want, and make sure both eyes are even. I'm now going to go in with my MAC 212 brush and a matte black eyeshadow. The one I'm using is Carbon, but you can use any dark eyeshadow or black. And you want to just press this into the roots rather than sliding it back and forth or moving it around too much. It's going to keep fallout at bay and also just really deepen up that root line. It's going to help set that pencil we did as well and make that last and not move around. So now that her eyes are done, we're going to take that Too Faced Primed and Poreless powder and mattify her T-zone. I don't like doing powder all over, so make sure you just keep it where you get shiny. Keep the high planes of the face clear of powder because you want that glow to stay. I'm going to go in with my Hourglass palette. These are the ambient lighting powders, and they're just tried and true and really great for under eye. It's not too matte, so it keeps the area looking healthy and vibrant. So that's going to go all under eye and then on the bridge of the nose as well, but I might add a little bit more of a highlight with another one after to the outer part of the face. For that, I'm going to use the Naked Flushed palette. This is also from Urban Decay, and we're going to take that center highlight color and just kind of bump it up for evening. I want the glow on the cheekbone to be a little bit stronger. I'm also going to do it on her collarbone and her shoulders. For evening, this is really beautiful to have the glow come down onto your body as well. Just kind of perks up the whole body and makes you look really healthy. You can also do this down your shins. It makes your legs look longer if you're wearing a short dress. And for this I'm using, you can use a lot of different brushes. I really love this one. It's e.l.f. You can get this one at Target. It's only $3 and it's like the perfect shape. I haven't found an expensive one to replace it, so this is my brush. So now I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter spray. This is my favorite setting spray by far that I've tried. You just mist that all over and it helps kind of lock in everything you've done. The makeup lasts a lot longer with this. And we're all finished. A beautiful plum smoky eye to make her brown hazel eyes pop. Thank you for watching.